And I'm joined by Luca, Ross, of course, of Shape of Water. How you guys doing?
Hello, Lee. Very good.
It's been a journey, but we're very good, thanks.
Glad to hear it, man. It's good to see you guys again. Of course, last time we spoke for a radio show, anyway, was for the previous release, Emil Fati. You've now just released two great singles in just in a couple of weeks of each other. We're both Last Goodbye and, of course, Where I Belong. Before we talk about the singles themselves, obviously, you know, Last Goodbye's got all these really cool electronic, almost trancey elements in it. Where I Belong is kind of a grunge all-out banger, really. And what I love about any time, you know, you send music across is I never know which direction it's going to go with you guys. It's always great. I always enjoy it, but I never know quite, you know, you've always been quite open about the fact you've got all various influences and stuff. And obviously I'm never quite sure which path more you're going to go down with each song. But when you're writing, is anything ever off the table?
I don't think so.
No, it depends in which kind of mood we are.
I guess it depends. Most of the times, it depends on the lyrics we write, and you know what we want to transmit with. You know, well, transmit is not really the right word, but
yeah, I think there are a lot of variables that can because the reason why we opt for a choice instead of another one sometimes it's not like a blueprint that we always do, you know, it's something that it can be different every time.
Yeah.
Is the lyrics the starting point when you're writing then, or set the tone?
I think it depends in this case.
Yeah, in this case depends. Let's say that in the last works probably lyrics were a big drive.
Yeah, more
like
really important, more like
in the past probably we used to write more. We used to start from music and then adapt words. Now it's changed a little bit.
Like for instance, there's a song in Amor Fati, Words in Eternity. It was one of my favorite. That actually started as a jam session in the rehearsal room.
Oh, yeah.
And then after a few, 3, 4, or even 5 years, I wrote the lyrics, and then it became song it is right now.
Or we were talking about the last creation, like the grunge song Where I Belong.
Yeah.
So basically, actually the song was written like during COVID. I was in my rehearsal room in my room, and so I was playing actually a song from Nirvana that was Her Shattered Box. And in a certain moment I started arguing with my miss, and so the argument went really deep, and so I just started to adapt some words on that song. And in the beginning the idea was not to use it for Shape of Water, you know, it was just something that I had to take off from me. But then Rox liked it, and so we started working on it, and we start the Nirvana.
we wanted to make sure that obviously the song it sounds grunge, but we want to make sure it didn't sound like it sounded more like
grunge.
Us. Yeah, more like us.
Yeah, Shape of Water grunge.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, like with your stuff, it doesn't matter which avenue you go down, it's unmistakably got your stamp on it. And it's really hard to pinpoint what your stamp is, because you use all these different sort of elements to your music, which is great. And you don't use them all on the same songs, for, you know, it can go in a disparaging way. So it's odd to try and say that it's all got your stamp on it when everything sounds so different. But it does. There's something, I don't know, for want of a better term, genetically, that it's got the Shape of Water sound about it somehow.
I think it is exactly what we wanted to happen, because we knew that it was difficult, because, you know, when you have so like a very diverse set of songs, then it might you know, it's more difficult to make sure that people recognize it's you. But apparently it's, you know, it's working. So that's
even because on the back of house work, sometimes we it's a deliberate choice that we make. You know, his voice has a timbre, and we try to make the same with guitars, with some kind of synths that we use. We try not to get too far with the sounds, so we can have the artistic and technical choice to make something different, but in order to keep you know, the personality or the another word. So in order to make it recognizable, we try not to go too far with sounds. So like we are not gonna use like a sounds of guitar that is completely different from the other one.
Yeah.
So yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like obviously you guys have done that. We spoke before, and you know, you mentioned influences like some of the on the more heavy stuff have been more things like Muse and stuff like that. But equally, you know, one and it sonically in terms of sound, it might not creep up on people too much, but in terms of that going where you want the song to go, Queen. I know you guys are big fans of Queen, and for me, it's a similar thing. You know, it might be sonically different in terms of obviously though you're writing stuff that's a lot heavier, and you know, it's less classic rock. It's got all these other elements to it. But you know, you listen to an album like Sheer Heart Attack, and then you go listen to an album like Night at the Opera, completely different sonically. Shouldn't sound like the same band, but it does. And I get the feeling with like these two songs compared to previous releases as well. You know, it's just got that vibe about it that what I like about you guys, I guess what I'm trying to say is you can't put you into one box. And you know, sometimes that can get a little stale, and there's nothing wrong with people doing that, but I just find it a little, exciting.
I think we stole this from cinematography, because if you go to see Michael Bay, you know exactly what you expect. But if you go and see Kubrick, you know that he will be his signature. But you know, you can go from 2001: Space Odyssey to Eyes Wide Shut, and there are completely opposite movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
So
you always got the signature.
yeah, so going back to the two singles in question, we spoke a little bit about Where I Belong came in terms of, coming from Heart-Shaped Box and you getting stuff out for you there, Rico. But where did Last Goodbye come from? How did that one come to be?
Interesting enough, Last Goodbye is one of the, so in terms of lyrics, is one of the two songs that we wrote together in terms of lyrics.
Yeah.
But the song is actually very old, very old. It's one of the songs we wrote several years ago, but it changed.
We got like probably 32 versions of that song.
Probably the song we arranged so many times, and we're not satisfied with that.
Is that song that you want to do but never can find the right way to express it? And then lyrics was driven obviously by personal stories, but
obviously
yeah,
story where we share the same. Last Goodbye can be failed relationship, and it's something that we all.
Yeah, we both came from failure of relationships.
We've all been there.
Like a common ground.
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there. So
that was a really, really interesting collaboration, because literally we sat down for the second time in this case, because the first time was The Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
And we wrote lyrics together, and it was took time.
It was therapeutic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it was a bit therapeutic. Obviously, you guys, you've been good mates for a long time. So to go through that kind of experience where you might feel slightly, ostracized and on your own, to know that your best mate's also in a or has been in a similar position, must have been quite nice to have that backing.
Yeah, and
exactly.
Obviously the sound. In the beginning, we thought we wanted a song a little bit more like rock sounding rock, but then I tried doing like a heavy dance version similar to this one, and then we said, you know what, actually we could.
Yeah, because there was this strong contrast between the danceability of the song and the sadness of the lyrics, and it was like crying at the discotheque. It has that kind of vibe, and so it was like we liked it straight away.
I mean, that's what you say. You got that, like, for want of a better term, that juxtaposition of the sadness of your lyrics, but the kind of joyous of that those trancey and electronic elements that are in it. And I just when you sent it to me over, Oscar, it's just like instantly I was like, that's the song finished, and I immediately wanted to put it on again, and I did. But it's just one of those tracks for me when it came through, and I think when for want of a better term, electronic elements in rock can get a bad name. They can get overlooked. They can get oh well, it's not real rock because it's synths, it's whatever. But when used right, like I mean, going back to Queen was using synths in the 80s. It's not a new thing for rock to have synthesized electronic elements. But I think because in more traditional kind of blues-based rock or whatever, you don't see them. I think when you do use them, it comes out with a massive punch, and I felt like it had that to it as well because it was so left field.
Yeah,
in terms of what you might
I think I think that demonizing electronic today is a bit hypocritical, because if you think band like Ghost, like the drums are clearly fake
Yeah.
in the recordings.
I mean, take pretty much all the
Yeah,
rock bands,
all the
metal
rock bands,
like,
metal bands
Yeah,
today,
absolutely.
drums are triggered.
take
So
Sleep Token. They literally, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think at the end it's just the way you use it that it can change.
Yeah, it's like anything, isn't it? It's like how you use it. Like you say, if you use a guitar effects pedal, say for example, you know, it's no different to using a synthesized line.
We decided to, in composing, to have everything to maximize our own artistic pleasure. Like for guitar, as an example, I'm a tube addicted. I like the sound of
valves, I mean,
valves.
valves.
Yeah. So I like the sounds of valve amplifier, and so we wanted to put this just because it gives me artistic pleasure, and same for him and since and so we decide to combine things in order to have what we like.
Nice. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like you say, you got to write the music you like. Otherwise, that really does shine through. If you're trying to fit into, go back to the not fitting in a box. If a box is, you know, popular, for want of a better term, if you're just trying to cram your music into that, it shines
Like
so much more that you're trying to do that than if you're being honest.
as an instance, like I love AC/DC, I love Rammstein, but sometimes I think, imagine them, you know, like 60, 70 years old people that for 40 years, every release was the same of the old one and the same of the old one. Probably it's not for me. I appreciate that someone can do that, but I can't.
Yeah, obviously I love them, especially Rammstein, also AC/DC. But you know, if I see myself as well, playing that forever.
It's nice to go to eat to McDonald's because you know exactly what you get, but sometimes you want something different, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you trust an artist and you're vibing on for, you know, what they're putting out, I think it's always nice when you hear something different from them, another angle to their story, another, you know, another vibe off them. And I think if you really into an artist, you'll trust where they're going anyway.
Because I think you just compared AC/DC to McDonald's. Wow.
I mean,
wow.
Because if you think about it,
I know,
they have a big industry that they have to reply. We don't have no one that we have to reply, so we do the.
Think where you were. So I'm taking this as both Last Goodbye and Where I Belong is what we've spoken about. So I know it's coming from a forthcoming album. How is that all coming together? Is that all going well?
Oh well, yes.
It's even stranger than usual.
Well, yes. It's almost finished. It's not finished yet. Obviously, the singles we released also last summer and in October, they will also be part of the album as well. I think is more I would say intimate in terms of themes and lyrics, obviously.
Yeah, it comes from very personal life stories.
Yeah. I would say sentimental.
Sentimental.
Yeah. Let's go like that. But I think it would be much more bombastic and epic compared to.
We wanted to have some songs good to play live, you know. We want to have that. And so
yeah,
we worked a bit on that.
Like I think it will be different from the other two, even the track list, because I'm not sure if you Ray Illusions and Amor Fati, they have a pretty similar set like track list. They start with the song
Mars Sex and Child,
and the last song is always a bit of reflective, but this one is going to be different. Well, a bit different
because it's more reflection.
yeah, but yeah. We're not going to say its name yet because we will announce it soon. Yeah, but I think it's a great album. What can we say about it?
What can we say about it?
There's a jazz song.
There is a jazz song, a noir jazz song.
Yeah.
That one was like it was another song that we basically loved the lyrics first.
We changed at least several times.
Yeah, and then we start working on because it was written on acoustic guitar and it wasn't working by itself. It was very not senseless, but probably too simple. So we start to work on it, and then it was a little bit too Radiohead, and then it was a little bit too electronic, and then it was a little bit too this or that. And then in the end, I don't know why, but we both thought that the lyrics was calling like a noir jazz vibe.
Okay.
And we said, why not? Let's try it.
It's and then there are some hard rock songs. There are some progressive metal weird stuff, and it's going to be very interesting. All the songs that will be very electronic, some very Depeche Mode. Some very Queenie as well.
Oh, there is one that is very Queenie.
Yeah,
Queenie.
So have you got a rough release date in mind yet? If you want to put it out, will it be out this year, or are you looking at next year for the release on that?
No, this year. We're planning to have it out hopefully this summer.
So.
This August.
Hopefully.
This 9th of August.
8th, maybe.
If everything goes
it's the first time we are releasing it independently. So obviously we can do what we want because it's fully independent. But obviously we want to make sure that everything is perfect, exactly as we wanted. So let's say, for instance, last year we were planning to release it in April, but then we said, you know what, we want to make sure that everything's perfect and just postpone a little bit more.
Yeah, even because every time we start doing something, it's like, oh, I don't like it this way, let's make it this way, or why don't we try the other way, or why don't we try, and then we finish with another project.
But like you say, you've got that flexibility with it being released independently. You can
exactly.
make sure you're happy. Although sometimes I guess it's nice to have a deadline sometimes, I suppose, but equally having that flexibility in terms of, you guys will both know when you're both happy with it to be released. So just don't do it for democracy.
We're definitely trying to make sure that it's out this summer.
Nice. Awesome. Well, going back to the two singles though, like what I liked about when you did release Where I Belong is you kind of did a kind of collaborative release with Shiver My Care when you sent that single across to me, Rox. How did that come about in terms of trying to sort of like promote each other's with because I just think that's really cool because you get some people who are very combative in their release dates and quite protective, but you guys were quite open in supporting each other.
Oh, we Shiver My Care, especially with Federico, the guitarist, we are friends. Literally, we live in the same place, so we are actually friends. Plus, I'm actually now producing them. After the interview, I'm gonna go to their rehearsal room to start to start working with them. But at the same time, it's something we would play together lots of times, and we just thought, why not? You are releasing the single on the same day. Why not doing, try and make sort of a community, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we can do it more with other bands and trying to, support each other.
Yeah, even because if you think about it, in art, there shouldn't be a form of closed ideology. Otherwise, it's a sort of fascism.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or it's just like feeding the ego. That is something that we stopped doing a long time ago. And so collaboration, I think, is the best way to evolve for us. I mean, it's, mutual, how it's called, mutual interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. It's a really healthy way to do it, rather than trying to be closed off. I mean, I'll be honest, I hadn't heard the band until, you guys did your social media post, and then I was looking for something else to chuck on the radio show, and obviously Rox, I messaged you saying, dude, check that out. And it's a great single, why shouldn't you guys support each other? I think that was awesome.
Exactly. So it's and I think it will happen with other bands. Hopefully, we will see. But obviously, with Shiva specifically, we are friends. Like literally, we're just friends.
It's a long time that we know each other.
Yeah,
probably 8 years, something like that.
8 years. Yeah, yes.
Nice. And you say you're starting to work with them on a production level?
I'm producing them. I'm personally producing them now.
Nice.
So this that single I didn't produce that, but the next, hopefully, couple of singles they will be the ones I produced, and then so on. I will, we'll work with them.
Because you've been working on your own production for quite a while with Shape of Water, haven't you? You've done obviously the last two singles that we've spoken about, and am I right in thinking you did Silence of the Lambs as well, and a couple other
Naked as well. And to be fair, Amor Fati has also been not all of it, but
but most of it.
70% has been.
The point is that we started to do the production with Rox in Amor Fati, and we decided that it was better for us because he had the technical ability to do it, and this gives us more freedom in terms of artistic freedom, actually,
and also because
in terms of experimentalization.
We want, so sometimes, and that is nobody's fault, but sometimes some engineers, some producer, they have their own their own sound, and maybe because they we think something that we want, we know how that song should sound, and now obviously we know each other for a long time, and we just we know how to reach that sound straight away.
And we made a deal. No one of the two get offended if someone is hypercritical towards each other's ideas.
It's been too long.
Yeah, you definitely need to make that deal. It can get stressed enough as it is. So as long as you got that on the plan, you can't.
Yeah, because sometimes I can be very convinced that something is very cool for me, but then he can come and he'd say, "Oh, that's absolutely a shit," or vice versa.
That's what interests me.
Yeah, but it's good to have that kind of sincerity, that kind of.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so you can see things from different point of views, and then
like for instance, Last Goodbye, the vocal track wasn't like that. That was literally I recorded a day before sending for mastering because we weren't certified. I said, do it differently. I said, okay, you know what? Just gonna do it now. Completely different from what it was sung. Completely different. Well, not completely different, but I sang in a more rock way before. Yeah. And then we just
because the craziest part of it is that I'm always complaining about vocal parts and you're always complaining about guitar parts, and so we fix each other parts.
That's how it should work.
I think so, because like you say, when you're doing the vocals or you're doing the guitar work, you're concentrating on what you're doing and you're trying to lay it down. You don't always get to have that kind of stepped back kind of look at it when you can hear it, how it's sounding in the context of the whole song sometimes. So yeah, no one you're looking after each other's parts.
And it's always great to have someone else's opinion anyway, because you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know what you're going to learn from someone, maybe someone that's slightly outside sometimes. Get lost in the thick of it. But it looks like you guys got some more good shows lined up. So you've been announced for 5 Volt Festival. That's cool.
Yeah, we obviously have. So the idea is trying to get everything ready by 5 Volt. And then we will play at Sapfest like a week after that. And then we have the New Wave Classic Rock in September.
Nice.
Is it going to be the Kick Still again? Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's good.
And we got a video show for that.
That we're trying to get video show as well.
Nice.
Yeah, we were waiting for a place with a very big screen behind us because we got this stuff ready from a long time, and I can't wait to see the effect that it will have on people.
Nice. I mean, KK's is the perfect venue for that as well. The setup.
Yes.
We played there once 3 years ago, and it was amazing. But obviously,
the stage is huge. I like big stages. I even fell from the stage.
You did.
You fell from the stage.
You fell. Yes, it was beautiful.
I mean, I did it with class.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As long as you do it with class, it's fine. You know what I mean?
I was stuck for the next 3 weeks. I remember the back on my back, the pain on my back, the back of my back.
That's right. Well, we were talking about other singles that you released earlier. Obviously, a few months ago now, you released a cover of Blinding Lights. But of all this, what made you do? I mean, I think it's a great rendition. I thought it showed a complete other side of you guys. and another side to the song as well. Definitely had your stamp on it. But what made you want to go with that song in particular? Was there anything that stood out with it, or was it just mucking around and having some fun?
Well, we really love doing covers in general. It's just because sometimes, you know, we want to put touch on other people's songs. And before Blinding Lights, we released also Russians from
Yes.
It was the perfect moment for Russians.
Yeah, it was.
It was
for a while now. The reason why we picked Blinding Lights because we thought it was in line with some songs of the album, actually, including the first single we released last summer, Naked. It's very, you know, I don't know. It's like a pop funk, and Blinding Lights we made it like a pop punk.
Yeah.
So and I think the song is great.
Yeah, because when I was working in Selfridges at the time, the song was even like every 2 minutes on the radio, and so in a certain point I thought it was for me like a kind of how to say, I had the propaganda of the song. And so when I proposed to him, he was like super happy to do it, and so.
Bear in mind that actually, that's how I am in touch with the. I haven't before he actually told me about the song. I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know the song.
You know,
I didn't know the song at all. But then I heard it. I thought, oh, okay, it's actually a very nice song. I like the original with the old 80s.
Yeah, the 808.
The sounds. I love it, and I say, why don't we try and do, because doing a cover that was sounding similar, like 80s by retro wave style, would have been too easy, I would say. That
it's too obvious.
And we never actually did something more punk, so we said, no, let's try that then.
It gives a good vibe. It's a good vibe when we play live.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so it's an instant one that's going to get people.
Exactly.
Up, isn't it? Something like that. So obviously,
I must say, hard to sing. It's very hard to sing.
It's quite high up in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really let up. It's kind of solidly up there.
It is very, very, very high. Yeah.
So is that one you not look forward to playing live then?
There are several songs actually I'm scared of.
Yes, in this new album, I think we pushed the vocals a little bit, so it's gonna be another job for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vocals are just pushed to that far limit of
It's gonna be. But I must say, there are less falsettos in this album.
Yeah, of course, we went full voice.
Yeah, full voice.
Full voice in this one. There was a lot of falsettos in Amor Fati, so yeah, I can understand why you might have wanted to. Or I'm guessing it with you guys, it probably just went that way when you were writing anyway. I can't see you avoiding anything while you were writing.
No, it literally just I don't think it was the right time to put some falsettos in these songs. I don't think there's no. But yeah.
So other than working on the album, obviously a couple of live shows that you got lined up, what does the rest of the year hang out to? You got anything else?
We are investing a lot in promotion. We want to make sure that before the album everything is in place, and the idea is to have a short UK tour.
Nice.
Well, short depends on really, but at least 6 to 7 gigs. We're trying to see if we can do some gigs abroad,
cool.
Europe or even abroad, like
United States.
And then we want to try and ask everyone, play festivals like as much as we can, because first of all, we love playing festivals. It's always an amazing experience anywhere we played. Plus, I think it's where you can actually get more people to listen to your music, and hopefully,
you got a captive audience of those things.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that's cool. So when obviously I'll start out all over to you now. Obviously, when the album comes out, we'll get you guys back on the show. Maybe we'll do another little takeover show like we did for Amble Fatty, because that was fun. And yeah, anything I can do to help you guys, just say the words, guys. Simple as that.
Thank you so much.
But yeah,
Too short.
just I forgot to say that hopefully again is something we're gonna release another single before the album. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's
That's a choice that we did in the
but last minute.
moment.
It was last minute choice because otherwise we would have released the album straight away after Where I Belong.
But there was this song that as soon as we started recording, in the beginning was like a kind of a filler, but then we start recording it and this grows in me, and then I arrived Tom, the drum player, and he was like, fuck, this song is massive. I mean, I can't wait to play it live. And then people started to say like, oh, that's the song, and so it was like, okay, let's do that.
We will have to see some of the lyrics because maybe we could have some
lyrics, let's say I was proud of that lyrics, because that lyrics is like me, when you leave me with myself, I'm dangerous for myself. I'm very dangerous for myself. And so lyrics are very cryptic, but
yeah, beautiful lyrics, but yeah. I'm not gonna say anything else because otherwise I'm gonna spot it, like, yeah.
No, but it sounds like this is one that came to the song came to the party late, but it's one that's seemingly already showcasing, to be one of your more favorite moments, we'll say, on the release.
It's gonna be very, again, different, but rock, definitely rock.
Yeah, that's the rock song of the album.
Is that something you guys enjoy doing, but like pushing the boundaries of what is stereotypically regarded as rock?
I hope that no one will get offended with the lyrics. I don't know. No.
Why not?
No, I don't know.
No, there's no.
Christians, transsexual.
No, absolutely not. Why? Actually, no. That should be the opposite, actually.
Well, it sounds like you guys got a busy rest of the year ahead.
Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'll let you go. It's been great to catch up with you guys, so thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Obviously, we're going to pair the interview. We'll play Last Goodbye and Where I Belong either side of the interview, so we've got the bridge in the middle. But what other song of yours would you like to play in the show?
Feel free.
I don't know. You can. It's really your choice.
Don't make me do that. That's too many to choose from now. Let's go Silence the Lambs, because that was the previous.
Yeah.
We'll lock that in. All right, guys. Well, good to catch up with you as always. And see you guys soon.
Thank you so much, Lee.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Cheers,
Thank you. Have a good day. A good evening, actually.
See you later, guys. Take it easy.
See ya.
Bye, man.
I spoke in a